Have you ever taken a cruise? Or have you sat around and thought about, hey, wouldn't it be great to take a cruise? It used to be the epitome of the luxury vacation. Everybody think about, wow, we could take a cruise and go to the islands or cruise around Europe or whatever. But somehow or another, we find a way to corrupt everything because cruising has become an excuse for really bad behavior. This is the real story, and I want to take a look at some headlines with you. Violent drunk passenger on Royal Caribbean cruise raises a question. Should booze on board be limited? Carnival Cruise Line proves once again that it has by far the most violent passengers on the high seas. Now, there were two violent episodes just weeks apart. There was an incident on April 1st on Royal Caribbean's Mariner of the Seas.
A reportedly drunk man caused a disturbance on other people's balconies.
At 1 a.m., a drunken man broke into the spa on deck 11, jumped over an exterior railing, climbed onto another passenger's balcony, flipped over furniture, banged on the doors, and even threw furniture overboard. Now, security eventually detained the unruly passenger, but is this what you pay to do on a cruise? Passengers disembarking the Carnival Jubilee, thinking about grabbing bags and getting home, all hell breaks loose. A full-on brawl breaks out in the cruise terminal in Galveston, Texas. Nearly 30 guests banned for life. You wouldn't have to ban me. I just like, no problem. See you later. They were put on a do not sail list. It seems to happen a lot on Carnival. Don't know why. Carnival has gotten a reputation for bringing out the worst in people. Maybe it's an all-inclusive thing, or you get all that you want to drink. I don't know. Federal data shows that Carnival US is the most dangerous cruise line at sea. In 2024, Carnival had a total of 18 physical assaults, according to the Department of Transportation.
Oh, I better back it up. Whoa, stop! Whoa!
Last summer, a wild brawl aboard Carnival Paradise also got passengers banned for life. That fight started over a That fight started over a slice of pizza. Maritime lawyer Jim Walker, in his blog Cruise Law News, says on Carnival ships known as fun ships, binge drinking is common. He says it attracts younger passengers, more into partying and alcohol, serves too much alcohol on the ships, makes most of its profits on alcohol sales. Carnival may be the worst, but all cruise ships are at risk for drunken chaos. In 2019, mass brawls broke out on British cruise ships. A Good Morning Britain correspondent was on board when the fight broke out. He said blood was everywhere. Alcohol was to blame. 2016, a 22-year-old passenger on Royal Caribbean died after falling overboard. He had equivalent of 30 drinks in 12 hours. 30 drinks in 12 hours. A federal judge ruled that Royal Caribbean was not responsible. Alcohol is a big part of the problem. U.S. law firm Farah & Farah did a study on cruise line injuries. 66% of men and 32% of women said their injuries were related to alcohol. You don't need to be on a ship to get drunk and out of control. Sadly, you can do that anywhere. You can do it at home. You can do it at a bar in a neighborhood. You can do it on a cruise ship. You can also do it at 30,000 feet. There were 13,000 unruly airline passenger reports since 2020.
Fighting is not good when you're on a plane.
They'll go to jail if they keep doing that stuff.
1 in 5 flight attendants report experiencing physical incidents. Some research shows at higher altitudes, due to the lower oxygen levels, people tend to get drunker faster. Now, some reasons why people drink alcohol on airplanes, well, they celebrate the start or end of a vacation. Some believe they sleep better after alcohol, which is not true, by the way. Others say alcohol helps to reduce flight jitters. But back to the real story. Part of a bigger problem. 79% of Americans say people behave less respectfully and more aggressively than 10 years ago. I mean, have we become less inhibited about that? COVID-19 increased mental health issues, often presenting as anger. And then there's mob mentality. Crowds reduce individual responsibility through de-individuation. So if you're part of a mob, you kind of feel anonymous, acting like the mob versus rational individuals. And then there's digital disinhibition. According to Stanford research, constant exposure to online anger makes people 50% more likely to behave aggressively offline. I don't want you to just blow by that point. All of this exposure to keyboard bullies and this aggressiveness online makes people 50% more likely to get aggressive in the real world. And then there's chronic stress and burnout. The APA says 2/3 of Americans are completely overwhelmed by stress. So what's the solution to all of this? Well, we need to stop excusing bad behavior. Don't stay silent. If people are getting out of control, we need to ask to cut people off from drinking before the situation arises. You know, self-control is something that you have to be intentional about. And if you don't think about it, if you don't do it with intention, I promise you, it won't come easy. You have to make a decision. You have to make a decision within yourself. You have to say, look, I'm going out tonight, or I'm going on this cruise, or I'm going on this flight. I need to make a decision. What standard am I going to hold myself to? Am I going to hold myself to a standard of behaving well? Am I going to hold myself to a standard of not getting drunk? Am I going to hold myself to a standard of not reacting just because I can? Or am I just going to go out there and not give it any forethought whatsoever and just do whatever I feel like? You have to do this with intention. You've heard me say many times, be who you are on purpose and own it. And somehow or another, we've decided that because things are stressful, because things are not the way we would exactly want them to be, that all the rules are suspended. Well, the rules aren't suspended. Not for you or not for somebody else. If you see somebody around you getting out of control, getting loud, getting aggressive, say something to somebody. You don't need to confront the person, but whoever's serving them, whoever is in control of the situation, you need to point this out early on. It's not a matter of ratting out your fellow passenger or whatever. It helps you, it helps them, it helps the whole situation. You can just point out to someone in control that, hey, maybe, just maybe you don't want to pour alcohol on top of a situation that is already getting out of control. And certainly say it to yourself. Be responsible for your actions and responsible for the energy you bring into this world. You are responsible for you, and you are responsible for the energy you put out into the universe. And that, my friends, is the real story. Thank you for watching. Make sure you follow and subscribe. That way you won't miss any of these conversations that we have. I'll see you next time. Wherever you're getting the real story, make sure you subscribe and follow. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, Dr. Phil here. My network, Merit TV, has it all.
Now, let me blow your mind.
Merit TV's got the news that matters.
The selection of a new pope.
Entertainment you crave.
Busted. Everybody in a good mood today?
And live events.
Surprise.
What am I, chopped liver?
With serious punch.
Big shot.
Go to merittv.com and download the Merit TV app today.
You've heard me talk about Jace Medical. If not, listen up, because they're doing incredible work in medical preparedness. And today, I've got two major updates to share. First up, the ivermectin use case. You've probably seen the headlines calling it a wonder drug. The scientist who discovered it even won a Nobel Prize, and now Jace is offering a 30-day supply at the best price you'll find anywhere. Next, the upgraded Jace case, an emergency supply of antibiotics delivered to your door. They've doubled the number of medications to 10, at just $20 more. And now, the most comprehensive and affordable kit available. Get it before you need it. Don't wait, order today. Visit jace.com and use code PHIL at checkout for a special discount. That's JASE.com, code PHIL.